Shalom, all praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakadash. Double honor and praise to the Apostle LGMS taught me his truth. And to you brothers out there that had any life dailies, preaching his truth with sincerity. And a few Aquaf listen learning. Shalom. Once again, my name is Aina. I'm from GMS Detroit Bar Camp. I pray this video be edifying to the hopeful elect, to the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And with that said, hey, this video is on the 10 tribes. Matter of fact, this right here inspired it on this article right here on Israel 365 News. You won't believe where the oldest known carving of the 10 Commandments is found. And the oldest known carving. It's the oldest known carving of the Lashon Kadash, the Holy Tongue, ever written, and is found in the Americas, over there in Los Lunas, New Mexico. You know, about like 35 miles outside of Albuquerque, New Mexico. And this stone has the Lashon Kadash, the ancient Paleo Hebrew, written on it, and this right here has the 10 Commandments on it, which Moses, the lawgiver, gave unto the 12 tribes of the children of Israel. Well, but what they don't say is that this right here was over here since the time of King Solomon. You know, and King Solomon used to send ships over here, you know, every 3 years. He took a year and a half to get over here and a year and a half to get back over there. And I got that scripture too. And I got the other scripture in 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter. That's how Cristobal Colon knew that there was Israelites over here, and he took Hebrew Israelite interpreters with him. You know, because he knew that they spoke Hebrew over there. You know, so he took Hebrew interpreters with him. So let's get it started. This article is like 6 years old, but it might surprise you, many people, to learn that the oldest known 10 Commandments written in Hebrew on a stone may not be in the Holy Land, but in America. The controversial carvings reside west of Los Lunas, New Mexico, at the bottom of a place called the Hidden Mountain, named the Los Lunas Dialogue Stone. It is also known as the Mystery Stone of the Phoenician inscription rock, or Mystery Rock. It contains the text of the 10 Commandments written in ancient Paleo Hebrew. And Paleo Hebrew predates the modern style Hebrew writing. Ronnie Segal, academic advisor for eTeacher and Online Language Academy, explained, Breaking Israel News, this form of Hebrew writing was used approximately 1,000 years and fell into the discord around 500 BC. So this right here was here approximately probably around 500 BC. So that would have been like 500 years before Yahushua was born. You know who you in they call Jesus. You know, and BC means before Christ. You know, 500 years before Yahushua was over here. These people was already over here. And how we know, the Bibles tell us this. You know, you want a real history book? The real history book is in the Bible. You know, that's the real world history book. You know, a 80-ton boulder, which the writings were carved, is so large that it may have been in its present-day location since the time of King Solomon, which ruled from uh, uh, um, 1014 BC to 9 974 BC. More square-like Hebrew script used today came into the common use of kings after King Solomon reigned. Continue Seagull. Since the writing on the stone is in Paleo-Hebrew script, archaeologists surmise that the stone dates back to biblical times. During King Solomon's rule, it is known that the Israel maintained reverence for the Ten Commandments and wrote in Paleo-Hebrew caricatures. As the Middle Mountain site was accessible by ship, in ancient times, it is plausible that the Israelites landed here during their voyages. King Solomon was a fluent and a powerful king, whose monarchy was marked by many years of peace, and he was considered the wisest of all men, who ordered sea voyages around the world to satisfy his curiosity about all things near and far. In addition, it is possible that the Israelites has been sent to the hidden mountain to find raw materials for King Solomon's vast building projects, which included building the first holy temple in Jerusalem. King Solomon also built ships at Gizon Geber, which is near Galat in Edom on the shore of the Red Sea. And Hiram sent his men, sailors who knew the sea, to serve in the fleet of King Solomon's men. And I'm going to get that scripture too. Let's open in a new tab. Yep. Let's open in a new tab group. We're going to get that scripture too. Harvard scholar Robert Pfeiffer, an expert seismologist, it's Shemitic. It's not Stemitic, because we from the tribe of Shem. This is the reason why these Edomites try to keep on saying that it's anti-Shemitic, but it's anti-Shemitic. It's HHEM. He's one of the third sons of Noah. Confirm the Paleo-Hebrew script and translated the writings as the Ten Commandments, which include, I am the Lord thy God, who brought thee out of the land, and whose thou shalt have no other gods. The stone is without any detractors, and it don't have none of that, because there's no vowel points in ancient Paleo-Hebrew. If you see a letter, it's Abagada, it's Abagada. It's no E in it. There's no U in it, and there's no J or V in it. Ancient Paleo-Hebrew do not have any vowels in it. It's just Abagada. It has I in it, but there's no other vowels in it. You don't need vowel points. That's Yiddish Hebrew. That's what y'all speak. This is ancient. This is the Lashon Kadash, the holy tongue. A professor at Central Connecticut State University, Kenneth Fetter, has declared that the stone is almost certainly a fake. They're going to say everything is a fake. because the stone was here before, back in the times of Solomon. Man, it's funny how everything's a fake when it don't include them into it. You know, the small hatters. You know, and let's get that scripture that it was talking about. In fact, that's First Kings. It was First Kings 9 and 27. And see, that's Yiddish. You know, no, that's Yiddish Hebrew. And that ain't ancient Paleo Hebrew. You know, this is this is what I'm looking for. This is First Kings 9 and 27. And Hiram sent his servants with ships, with fleets and mariners who were experienced in the sea to serve Solomon men. And they came to Ophir, and they obtained gold and a fair amount of 420 kilograms. Man, let's get into real Lashawan Kadash, Slovakia. The real, hold on. First Kings 9 and 27. This is First King 9:27, and Hiram sent in the navy his servants, shipmen that had died to the sea, and with the servants of Solomon. And they came to Ophir and fetched from thence gold 420 talents and brought it to the king Solomon. And how, where they go? Hey, they went over here. They came over here to the Americas during the time of King Solomon. You know, and let's get this out of here. Hey, the scriptures talk about King Solomon over here, sending men over here, and here I go furthermore into it. This is First King 10 and 22. For the king had at the sea a navy of Tarshish with navy of Haram, and once in 3 years came the navy of Tarshish, bringing gold and silver, ivory, and grapes and apes and peacocks. So the king Solomon exceeded all the kings of the earth, and their riches and wisdom. And hey, this was the stuff that most it took King Solomon men a year and a half to get there and a year and a half to come back from over there. You know, and all the earth sought to King Solomon and hear his wisdom, which Yahweh had put in his heart. He put the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in his mind. And if you receive this, King Solomon was also who the world ended calls Jesus. He was also Yahushua. You know, if you receive it, according to the generations of Yahushua in Matthew 1:1, he was Isaac. He was Isaac. He was Solomon, and he was Yahushua. And not only that, he was also Melchizedek. If you receive it, you know. And they brought every man his present, a vessel of silver, vessels of gold, vessels of silver, vessels of gold, and garments, and armor, and spices, and horses, and mules, a rate year by year, and this is this is how Solomon obtained his great wealth. He obtained most of his great wealth by sending his men out in ships to go out there and grab gold, silver, peacocks, and apes, and all kind of spices from over there. If you receive it, but hey, a lot of you don't want to receive it, and this is how Christopher Colon knew that the 10 tribes of Israel was over here because of this scripture right here coming up, and they probably wrote down the 10 Commandments because after they was in the captivity of the Syrians, under this how Cristobal Colon. Matter of fact, let me grab that video right quick.
Why did you wish to sail west?
To open a new route to Asia. Asia is the richest kingdom, the land of spices and gold. At the moment, there are only 2 ways of reaching it. By sea, sailing around the African continent. The journey takes a year. Or by land. But the Turks have closed this route to all Christians. There is a 3rd way. By sailing west across the Ocean Sea.
The distance is unknown. It's said to be infinite.
Superstition. I believe the Indies are no more than 750 leagues west of the Canary Islands.
Can you be so certain?
The calculations of Toscanelli, Maradotti, Esdras.
Esdras is a Jew.
So what's worse?
2 minutes, and already you're a dead man.
And we're gonna get that. Hey, Esdras, and hey, this is it. This is the second Esdras, 13 and 40, and this 14 and 39. Start at 14 and 39. And where thou saw he gathered a notable peaceable multitude unto him. These are the 10 tribes which was carried away out of their own land, and in the time when when Oshé the king, who Salmanassar the king of Assyria led away captive, and he carried them over the waters, and so they came into another land. And hey, that another land was over here in the Americas. You know, but they took counsel among themselves, and they took counsels among themselves that they would lead the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt, and that they might keep their statutes which they never kept in their own land. And they entered into the Euphrates by the narrow places of the water, for the Most High then showed them signs for them, and hell stood the flood until they were passed over. For though that the country was a great way to go, namely a year and a half, the same region is called Ashtaroth, and Ashtaroth means another land in ancient Hebrew. And that's how Cristobal Colon knew that the 10 tribes of Israel was here. You know, and how can you find something and discover something when there was already people over here living? You can't. Hey, those was Israelites over here in the Americas. You know, the so-called Latinos, the so-called Native Americans. Hey, those was Israelites. You know, the Latin tribes, the Native Americans, all Israelites. You know, and we know that, and they even know that. But they try to downplay it like they didn't do nothing to the children of the Most High. They want to say them people that's over there in the land of Israel right now are the people. But it's well known fact that the Native Americans are and the Latinos are the Israelites, true Israelites of the 12 tribes. And the other 3 tribes that was over here, Benjamin, Judah, and Levi, was over there in Rome when the other 10 tribes was taken out of Israel, when they was taken captive by King O'Shea, took them away prisoners. You know. And then after that, they went into under Shalmaneser, the king of Assyria. You know, captivity after captivity after captivity. And this is one thing that so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans have in common with the Israelites. They was always in captivity and captivity. And you know what? That's it on this one. Until the next one, shalom. I pray this video was edifying to you. And with that said, shalom.